You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club, and we got a special guest with us this morning. Goes by the name of Mark Whitten.
You said goes by the name of. That's his name.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing? What's going on, Envy?
Everything
Angela,
is good.
How you doing?
Hey, Mark.
Good.
So last time Mark was here a couple of months ago, we did a real estate class out in Queens, St. John's University. And I just thought it was great. A lot of people want to get into real estate and don't necessarily know how. I know Yee and I get a lot of calls all the time. Mm-hmm. How do you get started? How do I get in? How do I invest money? What do I need to do?
And there's a lot of different routes you can go to once you decide to get your foot in the door.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And the reason I teamed up with Mark to do this real estate class is because it actually teaches people how to get in real estate. And not only that, Mark gives you a bunch of gems that'll help you get and find houses. Like the way I was able to find houses cheap is usually from Angela Yee, or it's usually through somebody who's trying to do real estate that hasn't figured it out as of yet. So, Mark, tell them about the class that's happening this Sunday.
All right, so this Sunday, we're going to be at St. John's University in Queens. Again, that's this Sunday, the 10th. And you're going to learn a lot about real estate. You know, you're going to learn, most importantly, you're going to learn how to get started in real estate without using any of your cash, any of your credit, any of your cash, any of your credit, and you don't even have to fix the house to do it. And it's a method called wholesaling, and I'm going to be teaching you how to do that. Actually, one of my students, he just made $10,500 doing exactly what I'm telling you. You can see a story on my Instagram. It's at Mark Flips Houses. Another one of my students, he just made $14,000 on a probate deal, and that's when someone passes away and they inherit a house, and then most of the time those people are motivated to sell that house. So there's a lot of ways you can get involved, but yeah, I'm going to be teaching you all about how to get started. And I'm going to go step by step. I'm going to go into detail. And actually, I got some strategies that I'm going to share with you guys today right here on the show that you can start right away.
I look at real estate every single day because I have alerts on my phone that tell me when the houses in my neighborhood are for sale because I am interested, but it's like so expensive right now to actually buy a house. What do you think about buying a house from an actual real estate company? Because when I was looking for a house, I found that wasn't necessarily the most effective way to do it.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to look at it like this. Real estate agents and real estate investors, we're all doing the same thing, right? And that's we're looking for leads, right? So a lot of times, I don't say a lot of times, but sometimes a real estate agent will beat an investor to that lead, you know. So just because a real estate agent, what I'm trying to say is, just because a real estate agent beat, say, an investor to that lead, doesn't mean that you can't still get a deal as an investor or a buyer.
Because I found that, like, especially well, you know what? I think it's because Brooklyn is a very competitive market. So every time a realtor is showing you something, they also have a bunch of other realtors showing that same property to a whole lot of people. So it turned out a lot of times those houses will go above the price that it's listed for.
Right. Like I said, I don't think it's a bad thing trying to get houses from real estate agents, but you can also do it on your own, like find deals on your own. And
Seems like a lot more legwork.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be a lot more legwork, but it's definitely going to be worth it in the long run.
A lot of people think that it's impossible, and some of these real estate classes are bullshit. It's just a way to kind of just get people.
Yeah.
So explain to people what the class is and why isn't it not bullshit, and why should people really look into real estate for making money and creating long-term wealth?
I'm glad you asked that question, Envy, because that's actually a very, very important question. And the reason why it's very important is because anybody can get involved in real estate and start making money. All it takes is a specialized knowledge and a mindset to go out there and do it. And the reason why I'm saying it is this is how you got to look at it, right? As a real estate investor, you have three options, right? And your first main goal, your first main job is to find a deal. That's somebody who's motivated to sell that house. Now, once you find that person, you have to get the house under contract, or basically make that seller offer to buy that house. Once you do that, you have three options. You can either buy the house and fix it up and then sell it like you see on the HGTV shows, or you can buy the house, fix it up, and rent it, or you can assign that contract to somebody else. And that's called wholesaling. And that's how people get involved in real estate from the door, because this wholesaling I'm telling you about, you don't need to use any of your cash, any of your credit, and you don't have to fix the house. And these are some of the things that I'm going to be teaching at the class on Sunday. And I just wanted to drop this on you real quick. This is a really good way, a strategy I want to share with everybody that can do this right now, okay? So I want you to really pay attention. Write this down, take notes, and this is real, and I'm gonna show you how real it is right now. All right. Now, as an investor, right? Again, you're looking for deals. You got to find somebody who's motivated to sell their house. Now, last time I came on the show, I talked about absentee owners, right?
Right.
And why it's important to go after absentee owners. And the reason why I'll cover it again real quick is because if somebody owns a house and they don't live there, right? Then they got taxes that they got to pay, and they could be just losing money because they paying taxes, or they could have a tenant in the property tearing it up and they may want to sell it, right? Or that a landlord or the owner of the house may want to buy more houses if they have a tenant in there who is paying, right? So last time I came on the show, I gave you guys some websites that you can go on. And now some people hit me up and they were saying, oh, I got to pay for the list. And, of course, when you go on a website like a list source or a listability, you will have to pay for a list. The bigger the list, the more you'll pay. But I want to give you a free way right now that everybody can go do this right now, all right? So I want you to keep this in mind. You're looking for houses that are like, I would say, low to medium income. All right, so wherever you at, I don't care.
Wait. Before you give them this list, did me and you look over this list yet to make sure there ain't no properties we wanted to buy?
No, this is actually not a list though. What I'm telling you about, this is actually a really, really good strategy, and I only share this like with my actual one-on-one students. But I mean, hey, I'm on the Breakfast Club, so I want to empower as many people as I can. Right, so you want to find houses in low to medium income areas, because the higher the income, the more stable people are going to be, right? So you may not be able to find a deal. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to think of an area think of a neighborhood or whatever in your city or state or wherever you live, right? And pick a street in that area. So let's say, for example, Main Street is in an area where it's like low to medium income, right? So what you do is you go on Google Maps, right? So you go to google.com/maps.com, and I want you to put that street in. So say you're in New York, right, or Queens, right? You might put Guy Brewer Boulevard. That's a street in Queens, right?
That's Guy Brewer, yep.
Yeah, so you may put in Guy Brewer Boulevard, on your Google map, right? And then once you put that in, then all of the houses around that will pop up on your Google Maps, right? So once you do that, you're going to go to a web. First, you got to go to after you do that, you got to go to your property tax assessor website. Now, if you can't find that in your area, you can go to netronline.com. Once you go to netronline.com, you're going to select public records online. Then a map of the country will come up. You pick your state, you pick the county that you're in, then you pick the property tax assessor website. And this will allow you to find out who owns houses, period. So if you have a house address, you put that address in, you can find out who owns it, but more importantly, their mailing address. If you're in New York City, there's a website called oasisnyc.net. I wrote that down. Let me make sure. Yeah, oasisnyc.net. That's a site where you can go to find out who owns houses in New York.
So let me get this straight. So if there's an absentee house, a house where nobody lives, and you want to find out who owns that house and where that mail is going to, you go to these sites, and then you can find it and then say, okay, hey, you don't own this house. I want to buy it.
You do own the house.
Oh, you do own the house.
But you're right, and you will know that because the mailing address will be different from the actual property address.
That's why I keep on getting these letters in the mail from my properties in Detroit asking me if I want to sell.
I get those too. Yeah.
So check it out. I don't. So check this out, right? So you go to your Google Maps, you put in Guy Brewer Boulevard, Queens, New York, right? A map comes up, all of the houses on that street. Now, I just told you what websites you need to go to find out who owns those houses, right? So let's just say you put in, let's say the next block over from Guy Brewer is like Main Street. So then you go and you type in Main Street when you're searching who owns the house. If you just put in the street name and not the actual house number, then all of the houses on that street will come up. Now, all you have to do from that point is go through each house. Any house that has a different mailing address, those are absentee owners. And then you want to reach out to them. You can send them a postcard, a yellow letter, or you can actually pick up the phone and call them. This website's like that'sthem.com, Ben Verified, Spokio.com.
Those cost money though, right? When you look up.
Yeah, they cost money, but because of course they're gonna want you to sign up, but they give you like a couple of them free. Another one is privateeye.com, and you can find out these people's phone numbers so you can call them up and try to buy their house. So that's a really good strategy to find people right in your area who are absentee owners who may want to sell their house.
Now, how do you? Now you always talk about not using your own money.
Yeah.
So how do you do it without, briefly, quickly just tell people how can they invest money if they don't have money? They have bad credit. Mm-hmm. They don't really have no assets. They live at home with their mama, or maybe they're struggling. How can they start making money without having shit?
Okay, so basically, that's a good question too. So basically, and I'm gonna kind of continue on with my story and answer the question at the same time. So he said, how do you do this with no cash, no credit? Now, everything I just told you, you really don't need. I mean, you don't need any cash or credit to do the deal. You may need a couple dollars for marketing. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you want to send the person a postcard or something like that, and you got to buy some postcards, real cheap. Or if you pick up the phone and you go on like a privateeye.com or that'sthem.com where you can get the numbers for free, you're still really spending virtually no money on your marketing, right? So let's say you reach out to the person, you say, hey, I want to buy your property, this, that, and the third, or whatever. You find out the information on the house, so you get like the bids and baths and all that stuff, because before you go out to the house, you want to know, how much it's worth once it's fixed up, so that way you can make an offer right there on the spot. And there's a formula that we use as investors, right? And what that is you take 65% of the after repair value of what the house is worth, and then you minus the repairs, and that's how much an investor will pay. So once you know that, you have to get the property a little bit less than that. I usually try to offer like $20,000 less than that for negotiations, but I'll get to that in a minute, right? And I'm about to answer your question about the no cash, no credit. So anyway, now you at the house. You're at the house now. You already pulled the comps, right? When I say pull the comps, that means you have to find 3 to 4 of the highest sold houses that sold within the last 6 months and 6 blocks of that house. And then you add them up and you divide it by 4. And you can go to a website called realestateabc.com to find out that, okay? So once you got that after repair value, go out to the house and then you see how much repairs it needs. Well, let's just say you're like, well, Mark, I don't know. I'm new to this. I don't know how many, what the repairs are on the house. What you do is you find out the square footage of the house, which you can find out on the property tax assessor website, which goes back to your NetR Online or your oasisnyc.com. And then you just times it by 30. Right, so that's like a good repair estimate number. You just take the square footage of the house times 30. That'll give you your repair estimate, right?
Now, for everybody out there that's watching this looks confused, this is what Yee and I do pretty much on every property that we buy. We find out what the comps are in the neighborhood to find out what our house will be worth. Then we try to figure out what it will cost to actually repair or to fix up the house.
And what's important is to have some good contractors that could work with you too, because you need to make sure you have good, reliable contractors, because some contractors will go ghost, some of them will overcharge you. You have to have that information of knowing what you need to have done and about how much it should cost.
Right, and you can, and sometimes it may be more than $30 per square foot. It depends on the type of renovation, the type of area you're in. If you're looking for good contractors, you can go to like Home Depot and Lowe's. I mean, they're in there all day long, and you just reach out to them when you're in there. So once you know how much you got to pay for the house and you're at the house, you will take what's like a one-page contract. I bought some one-page contracts, but I'm gonna be giving them out at the class that we're doing on Sunday.
I know a lot of this information you'll go in the details in the class and you'll explain more. But I just wanted you to tell people that there is a way that you can make money. It's not easy, because if it was easy, everybody would do it. But you can make money. And I wanted to I know we got a boogie, but I also wanted to find out, how many success stories have you had of people taking your classes and learning real estate, and how much money do your students make? Because that's what people want to know. Like, how much can I make? You can tell me about this. I could take a class, but how many of your students were successful and actually are making money? All
right, let me answer that question, but I want to answer your question before that, because it's very important, because you asked how do you do this with no cash or credit, and a lot of people want to know. All right, when you say you go out to the house and you get the house under contract, right? So you do a contract with the seller for, say, I don't know, $100,000, and then let's say, Envy, you want to pay $110 for it. All I'm going to do is take my contract for $100,000 and assign it to Envy for $10,000. Okay, that's what I'm doing. So I'm not using no cash or credit. All I'm doing is just assigning my contract to somebody else, and I'm getting what's called an assignment fee in the middle.
So you doing the legwork, and
I'm doing the legwork.
You get PCO for that.
But do you have to have credit to even get approved for the $100,000 contract?
Nope, because all you're doing is making an offer to the seller. So let's just say it's you, and I'm like, all right, Angela, I'm gonna offer you $100,000 for your house, and you say, all right,
worth way more than that, Mark.
All right, let's just say,
no, I'm kidding.
Say $500,000, whatever, right?
1.5.
1.5.
Go ahead,
so I offer you 1.5, right? And you're like, all right, I'll offer you 1.5, and we do a contract, right? Once we do that contract, I have what's called an equitable interest, meaning I can assign that contract to somebody else for a profit. That's basically what
But then we have to still close. I still have to close with you in order for you to be able to assign it to someone else.
Well, this how it would go. So if I get it from you for, say, $1 million, right, and Envy's going to pay $2 million for it, right? Then that way, I got what's called. Got him. You see what I'm saying? So Envy's really going to buy the house for $1 million.
So Envy has to get approved, but you don't.
Whatever because he's the actual buyer. So if he's getting financed and he's got to get approved, he may have cash. But at the end of the day, if I get it from you for $1 million and Envy wants to pay $2 million, then I'm going to assign my contract to him for $1 million, and then I'm going to make $1 million on the deal. You see what I mean? And this has been going on for a long time. It's just fairly new to our people, new to our culture. And that's why I'm really trying to get the word out there, because you truly can get rich. Like, you can build wealth off of this. And it's so important because once you start making that money, you can start investing that money into income producing assets like rental properties, which I do also. I know Envy does that as well. Back to your question about how much money can students make. I mean, really, it's the sky's the limit, honestly. Like I said, one of my students just made $10,500. Another one made $14,000. My last guy had came from Brooklyn. Remember last time he made like $17,000, something like that. So, the deals are big when you get into short sales, because you could do those too. Flips are 30, 40,000. This is no cash, no credit. So again, if you're in the New York area, or if you're anywhere around New York, you have to meet us this Sunday, June 10th. At Queens, St. John's. I was going to say, St. John's University in Queens, because I'm telling you, I'm gonna go step by step. I'm giving out all the contracts. I'm walking you through the contracts, and I'm gonna show you how to get this money. So all you got to do is come and be willing to learn and be motivated, and I promise you, I'll take you there.
All right. And at what time is that on Sunday?
It's going to be at 1 o'clock. Registration starts at 12. All right. So if you're signing up, let me give you the website. So the website to sign up is www.realestatemoneyclub.com/NY class. I also had a link in my Instagram as at Mark Flips Houses. So you can sign up there too. And before we wrap up, we finished, right?
Yeah. We're wrapping up.
You got to show your shoes.
Yeah, I got to show my shoes.
What's your shoes?
She want me to show my shoes.
Oh my goodness! All right.
Hey, one more thing too.
Flipping houses is paying off, baby.
Hey, look, one more thing too. I can't never forget. I want to shout out to my city, Baltimore City. What's up, man? If it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't be here. So I always gotta show love to my city.
All right.
Baltimore.
All right, Mark Whitten, make sure you join us on Sunday, realestatemoneyclub.com/New York class. If you're in the New York State area, you should definitely take this class if you want to get into real estate. All right? It's Mark Whitten. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.